Hi there guys, I am Richard and today we are going to be talking to you about starting up in business.
Hi, I'm Caroline.
So, starting up in business, it's quite a task, isn't it? And it's amazing how many people actually get this very wrong. And I will, hands up, first say we got it wrong when we started because, we thought we were going to be these great business entrepreneurs at the beginning, and obviously we learned a lot of mistakes on the way. So this is why we are doing these podcasts, and we are trying to help people understand the pitfalls to enable them to grow more efficiently, to make more money and a better bottom line with a fantastic pension fund at the end of it. Now, whether that is by investing in property or investing in assets that you can realize for you and your family, when obviously when you've gone, then your family can enjoy and reap the rewards of what you've actually worked for, through those years. So obviously starting up, it's very difficult. It's a minefield. Most people don't know where to begin. We've had all sorts of stories from people. I remember one gentleman actually said to us once, "Do I need to inform the police?" You may laugh at that, but this guy, it's staggering really what people think they need to do or don't need to do. And this it's quite alarming because it's like, why would you think you'd need to inform the police? We couldn't quite get our head around that. But then when he started explaining it, that he was starting up in business, he had worked for somebody for 40 years, and he was going alone. He didn't know who the hell he had to tell. And then the next question was, who's going to pay me? Because he had no idea. So it's a very difficult one. Obviously, trying to start a business, if we knew now what we knew then, things would be very, very differently for our business as well, because we would have structured things differently. We would have done things very, very differently. We can plan better. We'd probably have had more of a team in here as well, because we'd have been able to plan that better, wouldn't we? So yeah. I think with it, what most people don't understand is they've got this great business idea and, they're going to go, full steam ahead, it's obviously stoke up the fire and they're off. And sometimes it's the wrong way to do things because you've got to plan.
Just having the passion for it is not enough.
No.
You've got to research into that business. You've got to find out who you're targeting to, who's going to use you, who's going to employ your services, whatever it is you're going to be doing. You need to find your target audience and hone in on that on everything you do.
Yeah. It's not just about finding the target audience as well. I mean, that's just a small part of it. There's so many things we can go down here, almost like a rabbit warren. It's like, there's so many different areas that we could go down about starting up a business. And it's amazing how many people don't follow the sort of basic rules. First of all, you've got to sort of get like a, strengths and weaknesses sort of thing. So you've got to get like a SWOT thing filled in, find out what your strengths and weaknesses are. And obviously, whatever those weaknesses are, you've got to try to get in right from the beginning, people that can counteract your weaknesses. Because the thing is, that is going to hinder you, isn't it, at the end of the day? It's hindered us in our business and we're going to be the first to admit that. But we now know that and we now know how to do that. Over the years, we've grown and we realise where our weaknesses are and we grow with that, and we bring people in to deal with our weaknesses, and we're still bringing people into our businesses to help us with different areas, because as we progress through and things get better and better, we realise that we find more weaknesses, and you will find that on the way. But
it's filling in the gaps, isn't it? It's finding if there's something where you might not be absolutely rubbish at it, but it's just something where your time can be better spent on something that you're better at.
Bingo.
And then the things that you're weaker at or you're not quite, there's people out there that can do it better. Pay them to do it better, and you can spend your time doing your quality stuff, the stuff that you're best at, the stuff that you love doing.
The thing is, like Caroline's just said, pay them to do those tasks, because the thing is, you can earn more money doing what you're good at than what you can doing what you're not good at. So the thing is, you've got to sort of start thinking of these things as like a time vampire type thing. Where is your time being eaten and devoured incorrectly, so that you can put more energy into the things that can really earn you money. So, even though you may have thought of running and starting a business, do you really need to be the managing director of that business? Are you better being the marketing director of that company, creating content, to get that business going properly? Content is absolutely king, but if we look at sort of like the beginning, so with beginning a company, let's take a 10-year target. Let's say this business is going to be a 10-year business. Where is that business going to be in 10 years' time? What is that picture? What does that business look like in 10 years' time? That is the key here. Because the thing is, once you know what that business is going to look like in 10 years' time, you can then work that backwards. Literally reverse engineer that company, bring it right back to the basics, because then you know where to begin. You know who you're going to need to get in that's going to be your weaknesses. Don't be shy about getting a business coach in from the beginning. Do not be shy about getting business mentors in to help you. Do not be shy to employ the right people from the beginning. So that means you're going to need to obviously look at a full business plan. A lot of people start businesses and they do not have a plan, because the thing is, they start going down this road and all of a sudden they're off over here. Then all of a sudden they're off over here. Well, they're still trying to go down here, and then they're off here. Then they're coming back down here again, and they're trying to come back up here again. Well, they're going off here, here, and here, and coming back down.
It's the old finding 100 ways not to do something.
Absolutely,
how not to do it. If you plan it properly, and you don't have to employ a business advice person.
No.
Ask your peers that are already at that stage you want to be at.
Not necessarily people in your industry, though.
Well, anybody in business that's
absolutely
successful.
Not necessarily people in your industry, because they could get scared that you're maybe going to take their market. So ask people outside of the industry, but also speak to people in your industry as well, because obviously they're going to help pass you work and you can help pass them work. So you've got to create this collaborative sort of relationship as well. There really is so many areas we could go to discuss with this, but I think really the fundamentals is getting it right from the beginning, isn't it? And it's I think it's even things like, see, in our business now, we have specialist roles here. So Carolyn, with what we do, we've learned over the years, I was one of those people where I didn't ever want to let go of anything in the industry. And you're going to find that. You won't want to let go with anything in your business at all. And you've got to learn to let go right from the beginning. Let go, because I was doing accounts, I was doing emails, I was doing marketing, I was doing the restoration, I was, making the products, I was literally, 18 hours a day, zombie 7 days a week, never having a break. And eventually I let Carolyn do emails, do accounts as we grew, because we had to, because it became too complex for me to deal with. With having like dyslexia and ADHD, it became far too complex for me to deal with, so it went over to Carolyn to deal with that. Now, she is the person that sort of pivots in the business as far as accounting is concerned. She deals with the banking side of things. Now she was dealing with orders. Now that's been farmed out to somebody else. So Carolyn will see the orders. I don't see any of those coming into the company at all. So I don't get a chance to see them. But so that sort of side of it, because I'm so busy doing other things, because I found my niche roles that I've got to do that's going to make our company money. And that's what you've got to do, is to find those roles that's going to make you money. Now, with the account side of things, obviously we use a certain software package, which, Carolyn's best to sort of versed to tell you about that, but there are loads of other ones out there, as well as, I can't even remember the name of it. It's Cashflow, is it?
Yeah, it's Cashflow. Yeah. I think it's a case of finding a package that works for you. So lots of people, there's QuickBooks and lots of different easy things you can get on your phone but find the one that works for you. They all do a free trial. Trial them, work with them. Same as a CRM system. Most of those guys do trials. They are really, really handy to keep all of your. It's like having a PA in your phone.
Yes,
it's like
absolutely.
If you can pay however many pounds a month and get a CRM system that's going to do a lot of the donkey work for you. Maybe you don't get a secretary or a PA straight away. Mm-hmm. Maybe you just use a CRM and it's going to send out reminders, it's going to send out things. And that works across all sorts of service industries, no matter what you're in, and it will fit for you. All of those guys that do them do offer free trials, so try it, see what fits for you. It's not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. Just try it.
So again, that takes us right back to the beginning of, obviously, you've got this business idea, you've got to know where you're going to be in 10 years' time. Mm-hmm. So then you reverse engineer that, and it's like, what do I need in at the beginning to help me grow that business. So first of all, there's two very important things there, which is an accounts package and a CRM package. They're going to make your life so much easier because at your fingertips, at your phone, in your hand, you can click on, whether it's QuickBooks, Sage, or whatever that accounting package is, or cash flow, whatever that accounting package is, you can click on that and it's at your fingertips. You can see the figures that you're going to be doing. You can see the figures you're going to be turning over. You can see your P&L figures. It's very important from day one. You produce monthly profit and loss figures. It's essential that you produce those.
Yeah.
So you've got to make sure right from the beginning that you have those two things in place. You've got to have an accountant that you can talk to, that you can rely upon. Don't always trust an accountant for giving you business advice because they're risk adverse. So you've got to understand that. They're not really business people as in our sense, where we will take risk. An accountant won't ever take a risk. So they're one of the worst people you can ask for business advice, in my opinion, because they're going to say, too risky that, Richard.
They'll hold back.
Steady, bring those horses in, boy. You can't do that. So you've got to. They're not really the right people. Make sure you ask an expert. Make sure you've got like a lawyer on board. Get engaged with a lawyer. Make sure they're on board. You think, why do I need a lawyer? You will need one for legal reasons. You are going to need a lawyer for legal reasons. Try to get yourself right from the beginning, and this is very important, the CRM and the bookkeeping, but try to get at least a person that can do a little bit of PA and accounts work, because you're going to want them to enter all these figures into the system, because you can't be an accountant and a marketer and a CEO of your business at the same time. You've got to understand this. You cannot physically do it. Ask any successful business person out there in the world and they will tell you right from the beginning, no, you can't do it. If we knew then what we know now, we would have hired all of these people and got funding in to do that, to grow the business, because you will find that business will grow 10 times faster by getting maybe a few £1,000s of funding in than it would do by not having it. And we are here as prime examples of exactly that, because we thought, let's never get funding into our business, let's just stay, we're going to grow, we're going to make this, we're resilient.
That's hard work.
That is so much hard work, and it literally hindered our success considerably because we didn't do that, because we were like, we can't afford that, we can't afford this, can't do that, because we haven't got the money, blah, blah, blah. And the list goes on and on and on. So make sure, again, 10-year plan, work it back, then work out exactly where you're going to go. Build your business plan, but write it down.
Yeah.
Write everything down. Don't just have it in here. Write down that business plan. Write down how you're going to see that business in 10 years' time. So if, no matter what business you're starting up, whether it's a software business, motor mechanic business, it could be selling boats, selling cars, doing leather, detailing, it could be buying and selling aircraft, buying and selling boats, secondhand. It could be literally anything. You could be a travel blogger, you could be manufacturing candles, you could be doing anything. You've got to have it written down. So in 10 years' time, if you're a candle manufacturing company, where do you want to be? Do you want to be turning over £500,000? Do you want to be turning over £1 million? Then if you're turning over £1 million, how many people do you need in your team to turn over that £1 million? Do you want to have your own labels on products? All these things have to be taken into consideration. So you need to bring the whole business right back to basics. So you can do this, I'm trying to think of the correct name for it, it's like a spiral spear. Orbit. It's an orbit. So you need to have this orbit thing. And off this orbit, you have these orbit with these rings, and you draw off it the different lines of exactly where and what you're going to need to do for the roles, for the different people that you're going to have in the business. So my role would be here, and it'd be Richard doing this. Carolyn's would be here, and she'd be doing that. I'm not going to start jumping over and doing what she's doing, and she's not going to jump over and do what I'm doing. So it's very important that you find this balance, isn't it, to work together so that it's finding...
You've got to know what you're both good at.
Yes.
Richard's best at the talking parts. But you have to have fun along the way, especially when you're working so closely with someone. If you have got someone really close in your team, you need to make sure that you bounce off each other really well.
Bouncing off each other for the good reasons, not like...
You've got to trust that they know what they're doing, and you know what you're doing. You stay in your lane, do what you're good at, and find people to do what you're not good at. But I think planning is the most important thing.
I think it's some of the things we failed with, isn't it? In the early days, we didn't plan, and it's
Yeah, definitely. It was we had the goal.
We knew where we were
but
going.
We didn't have the in between steps, so we were like, how on earth do we do this? Where do we start? Where do we go? What's the first step we need to do to eventually get to where we need to be? And I think that was the most difficult thing. So doing the reverse, so if you've got 10 years, go halfway. So what do we have to do to get to that halfway point to be where we want to be in 10 years' time? So you find the halfway, and then you can work back in little steps easier. And you know exactly what you've got to start with, which direction you're heading, and just put your blinkers on and no distractions. Put your blinkers on and go for it. You'll get there. You've
got to focus on that one thing, like Cameron says, it's staying in that lane. Because if you go back to like us at the the beginning, even 10 years in, we were still down so many bloody rabbit holes. It was unbelievable, and that was just distracting and diluting what we were literally trying to focus on. And you sometimes get distracted with competition because you're looking at what they're doing. And it's one thing we've never done. We've never, ever looked at our competition. Yes, we obviously look, and I'm sure they look at us as well. But we're not there doing and copying and doing things that they're doing. And it's the wrong thing to do, because do what you do. Because the thing is, the planning is so important. It's imperative that you plan. And I cannot stress that enough. Make sure you do plan to perfection, because the thing is, I think it's something staggering, like 80% of startups fail within the first couple of years. Now, that is phenomenal. 80% of startups. I think at the moment we've got about 5.6 million businesses in the UK. So, I mean, there's all these, and if you think 80% of those that are starting up, which is, I think, about 200,000 or 300,000 a year, are failing within the first 2 years. I mean, I think half of those don't even get to the 5-year period, and I think there's only something like 10% that get past the 10-year period. So we're
that goes back to the planning, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
They're expecting what they want in 10 years' time. They're expecting to come to them within 2.
Exactly.
And it's not. They get impatient with it. It's not. I'm not earning enough fast enough. And they're over expecting where they'll be in 2 years' time. It is hard work. You've got to be prepared to work to make anything work these days. Well, any days, I was going to say days. But
it's like if we go back to like when we began. Now you're going to think we're like old doddery dinosaurs. There were no mobile phones. Yeah, there was no internet, and I mean even our daughters are like, our youngest one. It's like there was no mobile phone or internet. How the hell did you live? It's like we did live, and the thing is we probably had a much better living then than what we do now. So the thing is, for us back then, it was very, very hard. So we've been through all of these transitions of trends of technology. We've embraced that technology, hence here we are, but we can also still do the before technology. So this is very important. This is
manual version.
Yeah, this is where we have quite an advantage over new generations of people that are around today. But if you are embracing technology, you can probably far exceed what we can with zero technology to technology, because there is so much at your fingertips, literally, like that. You can implement. The thing is, back when we began to try to start a business, there were so many loopholes and things we had to go through. We had fax machines, we had phone calls, we had to write a physical letter or type it out or handwrite them and send it in the mail. Even to America and stuff like that. When we were doing business with America, stick a stamp on it, send it to America. A couple of weeks later, they'd get it. A couple of weeks after that, we'd get a reply. 4 or 5 weeks down the line, we've got a reply to a letter. We write another one, we send it off.
But then we got a fax machine.
And that really speeded things up for us. But then, obviously, after a while, because of the facsimile paper, the ink started fading. So then it became a problem. I can't read the thing anymore. So obviously, what I'm trying to say there is, because of technology today, for us to start a business back then, we would probably be 7, 8, 9 months in the planning trying to get it going. Whereas now, you can be within 7 or 8 hours. Within an hour, I can start a business. So let's give you, for instance, we're doing a lot of things to help children, and I didn't want to discuss this on here, but I'm just going to give you, I've wanted to say this just as a quick scenario. So we're doing a lot to help children start up in businesses, and it's a free initiative that we're doing in our local town. Yesterday and the day before, so what are we today? Thursday. So Tuesday, we decided, right, let's do this. We've already started it anyway, and we've already been doing it, but we're like, let's get a website. By the end of play on Tuesday, stroke 9 o'clock Wednesday morning, the whole thing was up and running, going. Now, if you take that back 35, 40 years, that same thing back then we couldn't do, obviously, because we didn't have the internet. But if we did, it would have been in its dial-up stage of dial-up internet, with the terrible noise and people then ringing, are you on the phone again? It would have taken us months and months and months to get to that stage. So the thing is, if you can embrace technology, you've got all of this at your fingertips. You can really do some amazing things with your business and plan with all these different platforms that you can get on your phone, on your laptop, and plan to perfection without going out and employing all these different people, so it's going to help you with cost saving as well. But you've got to still look at that. They come with subscription charges. Don't try to do like we did. Oh, we'll just get the trial one in and we'll run with the trial one. They're never going to ask us to sign up. It affects you so much, honestly, with different things. But obviously,
once
starting
you've found the right one,
yes,
then just jump in.
Jump in and get it going. But you're in such a position today where you can start things so quickly compared to what we were 40 years ago. It's phenomenal how quickly you can start a business. Today, I can literally have a website built. Within 8 hours, I got my website. Within 2 or 3 hours, I've got my bank account open. Within 2 hours, I've spoke to an accountant. Within 2 hours, I've spoke to a lawyer. I've got everybody behind me. My team is ready. We're literally launching at the following day. Start at 9 o'clock on a Monday morning, 9 o'clock Tuesday. My business is going. I've got everything there. Bank account's going. PayPal set up. Bank account's open. Stripe's going. Wallop. Online credit card checking system. We're up and running. Companies formed. You can formation all these companies online now. Back when we were a lot younger than what we are now, 35, 40 years ago, trying to form a limited company, all these things coming through the post, doing this, doing that, getting the old traditional stamps. You're talking weeks and weeks and weeks. I can form a company now at 9 o'clock. By 9:15, I've got my memorandum and articles of association emailed through to me. My business is running. This is how easy it is to start a business today compared to then. But that is also how easy it is to fail.
Too fast.
Too fast. Yeah. And that is why 80% of startups fail, because they've got this great idea and they're like, great, we're going. We've got this, bang, bang, chest, let's, silver back, and by the time you know it, they're like, oh, where you gone? We've failed. Well, you've only just walked through the door. Because they go too fast, they don't plan from the beginning.
Don't give it a chance to work.
You don't give it a chance to work, and a lot of people, they're just at that pinnacle of success and they quit because they're tired. If they'd just gone that little bit further, they'd have leaped over the top of the mountain and bingo,
Or they flip and do something else.
Yeah,
they'll see something,
exactly.
They'll think, oh, that's a quick, that's going to earn me some quick pounds.
So-and-so's doing it.
Do that, yeah. And once I've earned some money there, then I'll come back and I'll do this, and I'll put the money I get from there and back into this one, and then
diluting.
It's not going to work. You can't go off and do some plumbing and expect your electric business to take off. It's just
no.
Not going to work.
Yeah, no point putting.
There's no quick book anywhere.
Can't put plumb wires in water pipes, guys.
No, not really.
No, so that is a classic example though, because this is where it's creating all of these problems continually. Because the thing is, you're going down all these rabbit warren of holes, and it's just making complete problems. You've got to stay. It's like Kevin said at the beginning, stay in your lane, stay focused so you know exactly where you're going. But so if we sort of look at like we'll sort of get this wrapped up, but we'll look at like a sort of quick checklist, right? So you've got your business idea, absolutely phenomenal. Hats off to you, super proud that you're going to start this business and grow this this empire of yours. Where is it going? That's your first milestone. Where is that business going in 10 years' time? What does it look like? How much money do you want to turn over? How many staff do you want? Do you want to own your own factory? That's going to be one of the key things where we went wrong. And that is what I would say to anybody. Begin right at the beginning to own your factory from the beginning.
As soon as you can.
As soon as you can. Now, the thing is, you think, okay, I've got to get 25, 30%. It's a commercial property. Maybe look at buying a small holding. Then it's going to save you business rates. And it comes as a personal mortgage, so the deal and the deposit is a lot less than it would be. It's more favourable than it is for a commercial property, because you've got to put down 25 to 30%. So if you're thinking of something like, say, maybe 250,000, you're talking like 80 odd grand deposit to go down sort of thing, if I've got my calculations right. I'm trying to remember because we're just going through that process at the moment. So again, you've got the business idea, 10-year plan. Who do you need on board? You need an accountant, you need a lawyer, you need a CRM, you need an accounts package. You want a business coach you can talk to, you want some mentors. You need a business plan. So that plan, you need to write down 10 years time, this is what the business is going to look like. This is it. I want to turn over £1 million. I want to have 5 staff. I want to own my own company, depending on what business you do. I want to be selling my products into 50 countries in the world. Right, that's your plan, guys. Then work out in your business plan, that's your vision, that's your dream. Then work out in your business plan how you're going to get there. Because then once you know where you're going, you then know how much money you're going to need to get you there and who you're going to need to get you there. So that might mean if you want to turn over £1 million within 10 years, you're going to need something like an accountant PA in from the beginning, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
And
they're
that
going to be
accountancy
really
package.
instrumental in spending your money in the right direction, not
They're
spending
going to
it
be
in the wrong direction.
bringing you right back down because they're going to be slapping your wrist, stop that, wrong decision, let me have a look at trying to find a better deal for you. And if you're going to have to rent or lease a building, because they might say to you, it's 30,000 a year. No, I'm going to give you 20,000. Barter with them.
Yep.
Try to get a 6 or 12 month free period at the beginning. Again, it's things like that we've learned now that we never did when we began. And most people are too excited to run like hell to get their business going that they don't actually step back and think, well, hang on a moment, what happens if things go wrong? I'm signing up to a 6-year lease here. What happens if it does fail in the first 3 years? But never plan to fail, because then you will fail. Plan to succeed. But the thing is, you've got to have these instrumental things in place. I want to break in 3 years' time on my 6-year lease, just in case I've grown so fast. I want to get out of it and go to another property, or I've got the money to buy my own property in 3 years' time. See, all these things are very important that you put in place at the beginning. So this is why it's so important to plan. Don't just think, I'm going to do this, this is great, off you go, run, because you will fail, because you haven't planned at all.
It's fine to have a backup plan.
Yes.
It's fine to have a backup, but just still keep your blinkers on, and go for this bit.
Yeah, you've got to go for that 10-year plan, and that's what it's all about, guys. So again, it's we're here. Please ask questions. Comment, subscribe, like, share, all that sort of jazz. Please do help us, because the more you support us, the more we can deliver and help you grow and get to understand your business and how important it is that you do that planning. But this is our planning video. This is about starting your business, the pitfalls and things to look out for. Don't always go for the most expensive deal, or go for the most expensive, but try to get a better deal. That's the thing with it. Never be shy. Obviously, you can't go to the fuel station and say, well, I'm only going to give you, the fuel's 80 quid, I'm going to give you 50, because it ain't going to happen. You can't go to the supermarket and say, my shopping's 50 quid, I'm going to give you 30. I'm talking about things that are, if you've got to buy in raw materials, get a better deal. Shop around. Find others. Take your time. It's called planning. So if you're going to manufacture chemicals, you're going to manufacture candles, you're going to be a software company, whatever it is that you're going to be, whether you're going to be an importer of products from China or something like that, make sure that you spend the time to get money on one side to fly out to China, because if you fly there, trust me, you will get a better deal than trying to do it all over the internet, because they will love you and they will support you and they will give you a better deal when they see you're making the effort to go to their country and embrace their culture and business way of life. Trust me, guaranteed, you will get a better deal by flying to China to do that, because you can also see the quality. Because the thing is, you're going in blind, they might make you one, they send you a sample, you then get half a container full, you might invest 30 grand in a half a container full of products, you get it, and they're all faulty. They ain't going to suddenly bring it and give it back to you, because then you've got a big problem and you've lost 30 odd grand worth of money with this half a container full of products. So you've got to, it's all about the planning at the end of the day, and I can't stress that enough. Everything that you do is plan, 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 plan. And that's it. So what you've got to do now, guys, you have to go away, talk about starting up your business. You know how to contact us. You can contact us. You can email us if you want to get some help.
Or give us a ring.
Or give us a ring, pick up the phone and ring. If you want to get through on an email with our business email, it's withernseabv@gmail.com. That's withernsea, B for Bravo, V for Victor, withernseabv@gmail.com. We will get you a better one if you want one. Do email us, ask us questions. We are here to help you. The advice we're giving you is completely free of charge. We're here to help you grow your business at the end of the day. That's what we are about as business entrepreneurs ourselves, is to help you grow your business. So what you need to now do, guys, is you need to go away and plan on watching all of our videos. So we want you to plan how you're going to watch them. We've got a few already out there on our YouTube channel on the R&C Growth Lab. That is exactly what we are about. We're here to help you grow your business. So please subscribe, like and share. We are here to do more. This is just the beginning of us helping you start up in business and grow. Please don't be shy. Please reach out. We've got stacks of help sheets we can get you as well that we will get you to complete to embrace this journey with us so that we can see you flourish and grow your company. Thank you very much, guys. I am Richard.
I'm Carolyn.
And that is the R&C Growth Lab. Thank you. See you around.